Some women chase success, others become leaders worth following. Welcome back to the podcast, guys. I've got Julia here. She's an ex-teacher. She built her TPT digital products empire, doing over $2 million in sales. Amazing. And now she helps practitioners and educators build businesses that they love, that really pay them what they're worth, because we know educators and practitioners are doing way more work than what we even see. She's been on a journey from her TPT side hustle to building $1 million business, to helping other people build their side hustle, to now being in this place where she's like, actually, this was never a freaking side hustle. I've always taken this so much more big and serious than that. And so she's really raising the standard for educators leaving the industry and just building something so much bigger for themselves. So I'm really excited to have Julia here to spill all the tea for us about how that journey has been. How are you, Julia? Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me. I am good. I'm excited to be here, talk about the world of education and business and the hybrid that we can create with it. So yeah, looking forward to jumping in.
So you started this business before your mat leave, but it was when you were on mat leave that you were like, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to take this really seriously. When did it move for you from being like, I want this to pay my bills, to like, holy shit, I could make millions? Was there a time where you actually started to set these really delusional goals, or did it kind of just happen?
Really good question. Okay, so I will admit that before I even had children, I was delusional about this.
We love this.
I was born delusional. So when in the early days of building my business, I started to like find a little bit of money in this, and I was like, okay, we're working with something here. And it just got to the point where when I did have my children and I was on mat leave, I was like, I am never going back. Like, it is not happening at all.
I love the
And
decision.
So, yeah, I removed that option. And I'll be honest, I did keep my position for a couple of years. And then I went in and was like, here is my resignation. But I just reached this point where everything that I had built was so important to me, and also so successful and so impactful, that I wasn't giving it up. And it was a really interesting period of time being on maternity leave and having 2 children, having 2 under 2 at one point, and having this business, because it was also my other baby. And so I had to like balance both the identity of being a mum, I guess, and also someone who had this ambition of wanting to hold on to this. But I just knew that I had the potential to change my life and the lives of my kids.
Yes.
By having these delusional goals, by committing to it, by treating it like something that didn't have like a cap or a ceiling. And for me, there was no other option.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, we're just going to make it work. And if it, fails next year, well, we're going to reboot it. We're going to do something else. Like, I was just never going back to the classroom.
I love, like, I think sometimes we feel fear around failure as such a like end game. Like, the business isn't going to work and then I'm going to be broke and starve and die. No, dude, like, you're going to get a job, or you're going to start something new. It's not the end of the world. And when we can take some of the power away from that worst case scenario, we can play so much more in the possibility and the opportunity. And yeah, that's a beautiful way to look at it.
Yeah. And I love that. Even I have this like break in case of emergency plan. Like, whenever I do something big and something scary, I'm like, if this doesn't work, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Or if this, fails, and I rarely use the word fail, because I'm like, I feel like you either win or you learn, you never lose.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm like, if this doesn't turn out the way I want, I'm going to do this. And so that removes the fear a little bit, because I'm like, I can work it out, and I think other people can too.
Yeah, I love that. I have a similar kind of thing where I'm like, okay, well, like, let's air out the worst case scenario. Let's actually see it. Let's feel it. Let's hold it. And then if you can hold it, it's like, what's going to happen? Okay, it doesn't go to plan. Nobody buys it, or not as many people as I thought buy it. Maybe I'm out of pocket like this. I feel embarrassed and shitty, and then what? Like, nothing really happens.
Yeah.
We just
like,
get up
you don't
tomorrow.
Die. Like, it's
but did you
really
die?
But it's like, you don't die. You're like, you brush yourself off and you're like, okay, well, I learned how not to do that.
Yes.
Let's, double down and go again.
Yeah. What about the switch for you of, like, I feel like you've always been very ambitious, but then there was this shift into you saying it really out loud. Like when you started saying things like, I'm going to make $1 million a year, or even telling people that you were making millions and stuff. Like what did that feel like in your body? And did you battle yourself about whether or not you could talk about it, or how did that feel?
Absolutely. That was really scary
Mhm.
because I think when I built my first business, I built it as a teacher, as an educator, and that's who people knew me as. And I was solving problems for them in their classrooms through creating resources. And I loved doing that. And then when I moved into my second business and I started teaching educators how to monetize their skills, I really had to like pull back the hood on what I'd achieved in the other business.
Mhm.
And that was really scary for me because I didn't want the incredible teachers that I'd helped with my resources to be like, I want my $15 back. Like, look at this chick running off into the sunset with all of this money. So I was like battling that identity of like somebody who had been very, very successful, but who was also, wanting to give back to, who were my people at the time.
Mhm.
I still love them. I do still love them. They still are my people, but I'm, in the middle of
Evolving.
evolving. And so it was a really difficult time because I was ready for people to feel like I was bragging and I
Mhm.
wasn't quite sure how I was going to handle that. But also, I needed the evidence and I needed to be honest about what I'd achieved because if I was like, hey, teachers, come to the dark side,
Yeah.
let me show you what's possible, they want the receipts for that as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's such an interesting conversation because it's like the people who are meant to come with you and do have those types of goals are going to be so expanded by that conversation. And people who have not even seen that potential in themselves or don't even let themselves play in that possibility and kind of are committed to the life that they're in and where they're at, and not that that's a bad thing, are very uncomfortable seeing other people move in that way and talk about money in that way, and it's just never really been done even in our families and the way that
Yeah.
we all grow up, like talking about money like that is not done.
No, and especially like as women as well. Like I feel like
Mhm.
it's really been like a stigma that, we're kind of like working to push past. And it's really interesting you say that because they were my fears of what people would say. And probably the worst, like, the most flack that I've caught has actually been from people who were close to me. So it wasn't strangers that were using my
Yeah.
resources. I still have people who have been in my world for like 7, 8 years messaging me and saying, I'm so proud of you. They don't even know me. And they're like,
Oh.
I'm really proud of you. Look at what you've done. You've inspired me to do this and XYZ. And yet I have people who were my friends at the time who have, almost like drifted a little bit. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It's actually crazy how much love and support we can get from strangers on the internet sometimes, and often
yeah.
they're the ones we're the most afraid of, but yeah, the ones that hurt us the most are actually the friends and family and everyone close. What do you think about when you were able to really own that? And I feel like you have, you're probably still somewhere in the process, but owning, you know what, like I am really good at this. I do make really good money and it's important for me to stand on this and say this out loud for the next person. Did you find that the more brave and bold you got about owning that, the less flack you ever got? It was almost like you cut off, I'm not available for that conversation or
Yeah.
that projection anymore?
Yeah, I think I just once I decided I was gonna be upfront and I was gonna own it and I was gonna do it, I just almost had, like, my blinders on with people
Mhm.
because I have always, considered myself ambitious. I always saw the potential in my business, and then I feel like the last 12 months, there was another layer there of like, "Oh, okay, like, I could go a little bit bigger with this." And so I wasn't about to let one person stop me from achieving that, stop me from helping
Yes.
other people, stop me from changing the life of my kids. And I also wanted to show my kids
Yeah.
that this is what's possible,
Mhm.
like you can do anything. And also, like, as a woman, like, I get to have both. I get to be, an incredible mum. I get to be an incredible business owner. I get to help people and make really good money doing it as well.
Yeah. Oh, so beautiful. It's like it's always the thing. Come back to the mission, and the mission is always going to be, bigger than our bullshit, as people say, but just bigger than our feelings. Like, of course, sometimes we feel a little like people are looking at us or thinking certain things. Is that big enough to stop what you're doing? Hell no. Like, of course not. Not when you're talking about your kids, not when you're talking about hundreds or thousands of people, other women that can be impacted by it, the ripple effect that's going to have down the line. We're going to stop all of that. Someone said, we're a bitch because we make too much money. Like, that's not worth it.
And then like my counteract is like nothing bad ever happened by giving a woman more money. Like we usually use it for good. Like we usually use it to support people. We usually use it to like, change the lives of people and like build communities and like, yeah, we might buy a bag or something or a holiday along the way. But there's usually like a really beautiful vision and why behind, what we're doing. And I always think like you get to have both. You get to have the impact and you get to have the income. And the more income you make, the more impact you make.
Yes.
It's just like this beautiful cycle that goes round and round. So that's what I try and bring myself back to all the time when I get like those wobbles. It's like, am I going to let some random on the internet or in my family stop me from like finding out exactly how like deep this thing goes, right?
Yeah. And how many people can be impacted. Yeah. That's the bravery. That's the leadership we have to hold. Of like, it's bigger than this. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than the feelings amongst my family or whatever it might be. So good on you. Okay, so you recently went through a really big shift where, like, there's a post on your page that I love where you said, I'm not the TPT lady anymore. So for anyone who doesn't really know what TPT is, it's, digital products essentially, but teachers pay teachers, so very specific to your niche. And obviously for a very long time, you were Mrs. Chalmers Cherubs, which is so adorable, by the way. And I feel like we can feel even from that name, like how intense the shift to being like, make millions of dollars with me must have felt. But having that whole identity and that whole business and everything and shifting and really trusting like I'm so much more than that, and I want to be seen and known and paid for not just what I'm selling or not just one thing that I've created, but who I've become through that whole experience, I think is really familiar to a lot of us as we really move into essentially a personal brand of like wanting to be known and paid for our leadership and our thought leadership and the ways that we do things and the businesses we've run and been part of and all of our different experience, the fact that we're mums, like all the things that we can help and support people with. So owning that, like what were some of the things that you had to do to really step into that? Because I feel like we've talked about the feelings. What were some of the like tangible actions you had to kind of take to say to the world and show the world and get them to pay attention to you in that way?
Look, I feel like I've been going through the next like evolution of my identity over the last 12 months, and it hasn't.
It keeps going.
Yeah, it just keeps going. And you know what? It's not fun.
It's not the best.
It's really not fun. And so I realized that I was kind of pussyfooting around who I wanted to attract and being upfront about who I was becoming and who I wanted to be. Because I didn't want to lose my people. I didn't want to upset anyone. I didn't want to offend anybody. And so I was kind of doing it in like a backwards way, like you could work with me and do this, but you could also do this. But if you've done this, like, don't worry about it.
If that's not for you, don't worry.
Yeah, exactly. I was like so scared of stepping on someone's toes. And then this was actually a couple of weeks ago. I had about like 3 or 4 messages from like various platforms of people, very like TPT coded, who, I love them. They're still my people, but I'm like, let's just get you onto your own platform. We can make you some more money, make you some more, impact.
Let's think bigger, guys.
Yeah, let's think bigger. But so I appreciated the messages, but they were all like, you've inspired me to start a TPT. I'm going to do a TPT. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to paint the picture for everyone. I am not the TPT lady anymore.
Yeah.
Because Teachers Pay Teachers, again, a bit of context, is somebody else's platform. Great place to get started if you want to, dip your toe in. But if we're wanting to move a little bit bigger, do some big things, we need to, step out of that. And so that's what I, had to really be honest with and upfront with, almost like I say to my kids, like, this is what's happening. This is what is not happening. If you want this, you need to do this. And even as simple as an Instagram post just saying, I'm not the TPT lady anymore. It felt really lame, but I was also scared.
Yeah.
Too, because I'm like, they're going to be like, what do you mean?
There's no going back.
Yeah, like, you're
own
not
it.
the TPT lady. And so it was it was a good lesson for me too, to just post it and be like, I'm doing it at the risk of losing some people who
Mhm.
maybe are still TBT as their pathway. Then I can like kind of leave space for the people who want to come with me, or people who want to join me
Mhm.
to come as well.
Yeah, good on you. I feel like people really underestimate the power of a good post. That's why I love content so much. It's a vehicle for it's the expression of your leadership, and it's so often such a beautiful embodiment tool where it's like you say this, so say it.
Yeah.
And when you truly have to say it, you're like, wow, am I ready to stand 10 toes down on this and let everyone see me? And it's such a powerful way to do that because there's no going back. It's out there on the internet. It's out there
That's it.
directly to your audience. Like
Yeah.
you become as you say it out loud.
And I feel like it's less about what other people say as well, and more about you just taking
Mhm.
you just having the balls to do it. And
Yeah.
even if like no one comments and no one even sees it, like you've done it. You've
Yes.
said it out loud. You've put your hand up and you've stated something.
Yeah. It's a turning point.
Yeah, so it's powerful in the way that you have to embrace almost like a new identity,
Yeah,
you know.
and what may or may not come of it as well,
Yeah,
just being
yeah, got to
okay
be
with
ready
it.
for it.
Yeah, yeah. I love as well that you shared that story of having like 4 messages of almost, with so much love, not the ideal clients anymore, and
Yeah.
people seeing you from the past that you're pussyfooting around, and it's like these identity shifts we go through, they will be so long if we don't like, the longer we run from what it is that we're meant to be embracing or learning, right? And it's like sometimes the universe will put this pressure on us where it's like we say we want to be seen as essentially not the TPT lady anymore, as so much more whatever it is. And then if we're not taking the action, we will have, I've had that exact experience 100 times where it's like more and more people, like more pressure, more experiences right in your face being like, no, we don't see it until you're like, I'm gonna get on my fucking soapbox and tell these
I'm
motherfuckers
hiring a
what's
plane
going on.
in a
Yeah,
banner.
literally. And then you're like, you realize, why you feel that frustration of why don't people see me like that? And it's like, because I've not let myself be seen like that. It's always us, and it just gives you that opportunity to be like, okay, I need to be louder about it. I need to be more upfront about it. I need to stop softening the edges and just say what it is that's really going on.
Yeah,
And you did that.
absolutely. Yeah, I feel like the universe just pushes you
Was like, are you
into
doing it? Are you doing
yeah, like into a
it?
corner. Like you said that you wanted this and you said that this is what you were doing. And
Yes.
even from like a visibility example, I'm like, okay, I want to be more visible. I want to do X, Y, Z. I want to do more speaking, and then you get an opportunity. I'm like, oh, oh, you've got to like push through that. Like
Yes.
you have to keep, asking yourself, and I guess being asked by the universe, like, how bad do you want it?
Mhm.
And what is it that you want? And just taking the
Yes.
opportunity to, create that.
Yeah, no matter how uncomfy it is,
Yeah.
and who like, I think there's so much who we might upset on the way, but I just deeply believe there's always somewhere everyone belongs, right? There's anything that's right for me cannot be wrong for anyone else. I
Yeah.
deeply believe that. So it's like the longer I drag me along this experience, the longer I drag them on their
Mm.
misaligned experience as well. And it's like set everyone free. Do
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
the thing that we need to do.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So it's such a common experience to have that evolution and also to kind of outgrow an audience, but it's very uncomfortable
Yes.
for so many reasons. Like these are the people who've loved you all this time and been loyal to you and literally paid for you to become where you are and everything like that. We love these people. It's not
Absolutely.
a
Yeah.
like they're not for me anymore. It's a where I'm going is best serving just a different group of people.
Mm.
So how do you feel like you've navigated that, or has there been any actions that you've taken or anything you've had to shift in your mindset to be okay with maybe I don't serve these people anymore and that's okay and I need to go in this new direction?
Mm. Yeah, I think I'll be honest, I'm kind of still at the point where I am serving those people in a way that is more autopilot. So I
Mhm.
still have such like a massive like catalog of solutions for them. So it's not like I've completely shut things down.
Yep.
Um, but I've like enlisted like support for that. So
Mhm.
while I can grow into my other identity, I have other people helping me hold down the fort for that side of my business, because it is a very, successful side of my business, and also I get to send teachers home on time to their own families,
Yeah.
because of my resources. So I still love that. It's just
You're
it's part
still
of
the
who I
best in
was.
that biz as
Yeah,
well. We're not giving it up.
I'm just going to say, I'm not
Yeah.
worried about AI replacing me because AI cannot create the resources that I create.
Yes.
But I suppose one of the actions that I did take to kind of signal to myself that I'm moving into a different identity was that I've kind of paused me actually creating those resources. So while I am, still um, making those resources available to teachers, all of my creative, energy and joy is going into the things that really light me up, um, and that are related to who I'm becoming.
Yeah.
And so the actions that I've been trying to take are, and I hear people say it, and I know it sounds lame, but taking the steps of who I want to be
Yeah.
before I feel ready, because I don't think you're ever going to feel ready.
No.
I just ask myself, I'm what would Julia do right now? If it was me 2 years from now, would
Yeah.
she say yes to this opportunity? Of course she would. Even this is so lame. I'm in the gym, right? And I've been looking at this leg press machine for about 2 years, and I've been terrified to use it because I don't want to get squished in it. And then everyone's like, this chick doesn't know how to use it. So I've avoided it. And then a couple of weeks ago, I was looking at it. I'm like, I want to speak on stages and I don't even have the guts to try this leg press machine. So I put my big girl pants on and I got up and I tried it. I did it. Didn't die. No one went home and told their friends how hilarious it was,
No one filmed you and put you on TikTok.
No,
look at
maybe
this
they
woman.
did. And I don't even know.
And I crushed it, and all visibility is good visibility.
Well, that's it. But it was an interesting moment for me to reflect on my own identity shift of how I've been moving recently and thinking, how can I approach everything with courage? How can I approach everything with let's just see what happens.
Beautiful.
And just try things.
Yes.
And, aim for the best case scenario. And if it doesn't,
I love that concept. How you do anything is how you do everything. And I don't sometimes I think people get that twisted to think everything in your life has to be this maximum priority. We got to life max everything. But it's not that. It's just the way you move in situations that are hard. And the way you move, whether or not you move with courage, whether or not you trust yourself, it's forming your identity. That's the evidence we base everything off. So I think that's such a good example and reminder that sometimes we feel like we're only building our identity or reaching goals when we're doing massive things, like when we run the big event or we launch the big offer. It's actually the courage to do those things and to hold yourself through that is built in all those tiny things, literally the reps in the gym. Something I love the gym for this. Obviously, I've got a gym background, but something I used to think about is I used to go to the gym and I would always get to say it was 12 reps. I'd do 11 and be like, it doesn't matter.
Oh,
and I
brain can't
and I would there was a point in time where I would be like, it does fucking matter. What is it saying about you, and what are you imprinting in your own subconscious that you say that you never finish things, or that, whatever the story is there, I'm like, is that the person that you want to be? Someone who does 11 when, just because it was hard? Because what is there to run away from? All it is that it's hard. So are you a person who can handle hard things, or are you not?
Yeah.
And so I would force myself there. I'd be like, we're doing every single thing all of the time. And it was just this challenge that I could set for myself in real life that just built more and more evidence of who I wanted to be and how I wanted to move and how I wanted to be seen. And even when we talk about leadership and integrity and everything, it's behind the scenes, would you want people to know that about you? I'm trusting you to help me build my big business and be courageous enough to be on stage or whatever it is. And I'm like, you want to get on the leg press machine?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you a boss or not? It's such a fun. I love things like this.
Yeah.
Instead of it being this big shame game of oh, well, I should have done blah,
no.
blah. It's more just how silly. Let me.
It's funny to watch it. Almost like you're watching a TV show in your life.
Such
and
a
you're
good,
just get on the leg press
Such
machine.
a good example. Yeah.
And but I think you're right. You collect evidence by doing things.
Yeah.
And that evidence moves across your whole life, And I said that to even the other day to my husband. I was like, I've been so scared to do things at the gym, and now I'm doing them, and I had to use a cable thing,
yeah,
the clicky thing to go on it, But then I also took that courage and then messaged people on Instagram for them to be guests on my podcast.
Yes.
You know? And I was like, if I can do the fucking leg press machine, sorry,
Yeah.
I'm allowed to if I can do the leg press machine, then I can message somebody on Instagram, you know. And then I'm like, if I can message someone on Instagram and, you know, ask them to be on my podcast, then I can do the leg press machine. Like I am someone who moves. I'm somebody who does things even though they feel hard, even though they feel scary.
Yeah.
Like my whole business has been built on doing things that are hard and things that feel scary. It just hasn't stopped me from doing them.
Yes.
And so that's like really important for me, because I think there's a stigma that everything is easy, and that, you know, ambitious people, ambitious women, we move in a certain way. And then it looks like we haven't had the challenges and we haven't had the obstacles, and people, you know, may make assumptions that like, oh, it was just like overnight and you just did this and it's all been all really easy for you.
Yes.
So you're like, oh, there was so much behind the scenes. I just didn't let it stop me.
Yeah.
And I just kept on going.
Yeah. And I feel like so much of the conversation in these spaces is almost us like trying to justify it, being like, it's been so hard for us too. And like, I don't really want to fall down that path. I'm like, we don't dwell on it. That's the whole point, you know. We see things, they're hard. We don't make them mean too much. We just go, you know, we're not like, oh, I'm such a scaredy cat in the gym, I never do anything in the gym. We're like, no, it's just the leg press and didn't do it yesterday and today I'm going to do it. And that's it. Like, that's all it has to mean. And same with everything in business, you know, it's like, like didn't post for 5 days. It's like, are you going to spiral out and make it mean, you know, oh, I'm a terrible business owner, I'm never going to get anywhere, my launch is going to flop, blah, blah, blah. Or am I just going to see it as the behavior it is and go, I don't like that. I'm going to own it. I didn't post for 5 days. I don't feel good about it. Human being. Let me fix it. Let me move forward. But the more like energy we put into how bad it is or how hard it is, I think the harder it gets, the more dramatic it gets too.
And I think you acknowledge it and then just redirect the energy into a solution or something better. Like I don't like to wallow. I don't like to dwell. I will admit that I spiral over things. You know, we're all human. But then I reach the point where I'm like, well, are we going to lay down and die, or are we just going to get on with it, you know, and focus on the solution? So
can we come back to the goal and what's actually going to be helpful here? And it's probably not me just beating myself up for the rest of the day.
So what is going to get you closer to what you want?
Yes. Yeah. And who do you want to be? Like exactly like you said. Love that. Okay. So you're definitely moving into this more personal brand era, which I love. Super exciting. And I think a lot of people who follow me and the work that I'm doing now is a lot of people who have this really successful business like you had built, and then they're moving into, you know, they can feel that edge of like, I'm so much more than just this thing that I'm known for, or just this thing that I'm selling, and moving into the personal brand stage. Like, tell us, what do you feel like you do want to be known for now? Like, what are the elements or the parts that you couldn't, you know, that don't really belong in Mrs. Chalmers Cherubs, that, you know, you want people to know about you want people following you for and seeking your leadership for as well?
I think over the last couple of months, I've acknowledged to myself how brilliant my brain is. And I don't mean that in a cocky way. I just
mean it in a cocky way.
I just mean that my brain is my brain, and the way that I, you know, string solutions together, and the way that I picture things in my mind, and the way that I, you know, think outside of the box, only I can do that. And that's what I love about working with people as well, because everybody has something that's so special to them.
Yes.
And so I want to be known as the person, the woman who can help educators, you know, build businesses that they love and that they're known for, so they can get paid more for their knowledge. And even beyond that, like if I'm starting to like flirt with the big ambition, like I would love to be known as somebody who shows anyone who's kind of come from a particular career path that they can evolve beyond that, that they can take all the parts that they love and they can do something different. They can build something that says. And so I went through again part of that identity piece of like, well, I'm just an educator. I used to be just a teacher. Like nobody outside of the teaching world is even going to like respect me. And then I realized like I've been building businesses for almost a decade now, which was longer than what I was in the classroom. This was a few months ago. I like sat down and was like, whoa. Like
I'm a genius.
Yeah, like I can't keep a clean house, but I'm a genius. My brain just imploded because I'd I think subconsciously I was calling myself an educator who had a business,
Mm.
not a business owner, well, multiple businesses that used to be an educator.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, I want people to be in my world who love the way that my brain works and who love thinking big and who want to build things that it doesn't compromise on impact, because I think educators who naturally are in my world like have such a beautiful
Big
heart.
heart.
They get in, they're
Yeah.
givers, and training themselves out of that, because they think they can't have both.
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge mindset shift. And I want to be the person for them that's like, you can do this. You can keep all the best parts, your favorite parts, and still change your life.
Yeah. I love how much that's so truly like me, my brain, like what I know and how I see things and how I think. And like you said, everyone has specialties like that. I've also worked with like hundreds of women, and every single time it's almost like they'll come to me and say, like, oh yeah, sort of do this and this. And I'm just watching them move and being like, dude, I've never seen anyone think like that or move like that or have done that combination of things before. Like, everyone's got superpowers in them, and that, especially when we're talking about building personal brands and stuff, like there's all the leadership and the fear and stuff where we have to work through to really own it and be in that. But everyone's got that potential. It's really just letting yourself see it and own it. And it starts with us being so embodied in like that being way more than enough. Like it being actually, we're fucking geniuses. And something I noticed that I'm sure has come through your head before, because it happens to me all the time. I'm similar, where I'm so like, this is just how I think, it's how I move, it's how I've moved for so many years that I've stretched and become this human. There's no qualification I can tell you that fits this box of exactly what I do. I've studied and touched on heaps of different stuff and like had so much experience in different things. But like, do you have that feeling sometimes too, where you're like, oh, I need this, there should be a qualification or a title or something that are supposed to fit on this, and then you sit down and you're like, dude.
Absolutely. Like, you're just, sometimes I, get into my head and I'm like, well, I haven't been to, like, I haven't done any like business degrees or like marketing degrees. And like, maybe I need a piece of paper that says like, this is what I'm allowed to do and this is what I can do. And then I remember that I did all of these things without that.
Yeah.
And it's almost
you
like,
actually lived it.
Exactly. And I work with incredible women who have, do the same thing, who are branding designers, and they build all these different businesses, but they've never had like a formal qualification. I'm like, yes, but you did it anyway.
Yeah.
And look at how incredible you are and how incredible your success is.
And people who've actually been in business like that, you already know. Like, there's nothing you could have taught me at school that would have prepared me for whatever the fuck that was.
Yeah. It's the same being a teacher. Like, if anyone's listening with a teaching background, that you get into class and you're like, did I learn anything in my last 4 years of uni? Because this is awful right now, because you have no idea what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you learn, as you go, pretty much. And I think that's what I've done. I've built the plane as I was flying it.
And solved every problem. Like, that's really what makes you so good at it, is I've been in the muck of it and felt it and experienced in a way that's like actually impacting me and my family and all those things. Not like, just some hypothetical in a study or something. It's like really been my life.
Yeah. And then you can empathize with people in that situation too. Because you're like, I've been through this. I've been through the highs. I've been through the lows. Yeah. And I'm still going, and you can keep on going as well. Like, you've got this. So.
Yes. And I think women crave that so much more as well. Like, women are not built to be purely strategy, follow the book step by step. Like, we have a lot of feelings, but we also have so much like intuition and desire. And our goals come from this massive big picture, not how do we build a business, but how do we build something that helps other people and is going to help our families and works with our lifestyle. Like, matriarch energy, like we're always looking at how this impacts such a big ecosystem of our family and the people down the line and the generations near us and the other women near us, versus just like the business degree would be like, here's how you build a business. And it would until you've had that full experiential journey that you've been on, it's like you can't truly hold another woman through it anyway, I don't think.
No. And that's it. Like, you can like be there for people and give your advice and your strategy. But I think everyone's experience is going to be different as well. And everyone's like why is different and their vision is different.
Yeah.
And so it's in our work, I know, through like mentoring and coaching, you have to like adapt to that as well and take the lessons of what you've learned, but also know that like one size doesn't fit all.
Yeah.
And there's so many, you know, different ingredients that can come into play.
Yeah.
And so being aware of that as leaders and as, you know, as mentors, so you don't rock back and forth every night feeling like you failed, you know, your clients, but also kind of, you know, sharing that with your clients as well and being like, you know, success can look so different. You know, let's work out what your version is as well and what you want out of this.
Yes.
So you can, you know, cater to them too.
Yeah. And honoring, you know, it's like the strategy piece is very important and powerful. And obviously we both use that a lot, but it's like that can never truly support the way it feels when things are not going the way you thought they would, or even when things are exploding so fast and far and crazy beyond what you've ever expected them to. Like there's so many parts of business that don't make sense, that don't, you know, fit the rule book and everything like that. So I love that. And I think that's just a really common fear people have of either they're, you know, highly studied and think they need more, or they're just so much experience and think, how do I put this into whatever? But even when we think about it's like the point of moving into a personal brand and what it is that we really crave is being seen, known, and paid for who we are. All of us, the experience that we have, and when we look for that other qualification or whatever it is, it's like we're trying to just fit ourselves back in the box that we didn't want to be in.
That's it. And you know what? The people that want to work with us, and they'll pick us because we are who we are. And, you know, for everyone that like listens as well, like people will choose to work with you or, you know, be in your world in a certain way because of who you are. It's usually less about the strategy of what you can offer and more about what you bring to it. And so staying out of that box, I think is
actually powerful.
It's important. But we get dragged back in and then we're like, oh no, okay, like I'm on my way out again.
I need a little comfort from the box and now I'm coming back.
Even this morning I was like, maybe I should do like a little course or degree on like this so then I can say I've got this little certificate. And I'm like, you know what, I don't have time for that. I'm just building things.
And then I look at the stack of other certificates I have that I've never told any of you about. What is the point? Then I just get back on the internet and talk some shit again.
Exactly.
Okay, tell us like what maybe something people might not know about you, or is there a way that you're leading yourself or things that you're holding or learning or doing behind the scenes right now, maybe something you're building that you're really proud of, but like we might not know that about you or we might not get to see?
I think something that I don't speak about very often is my balance of my experience with motherhood and building a business. Because I think there are some beautiful humans out there who have those wonderful experiences in maxi dresses and baby chinos, and they're building their businesses with laptops in the cafes.
And the sourdough.
And that was not my experience. Now, I love my children more than anything. I would walk into traffic for them. I actually did the other day just to get my very strong-willed daughter out of traffic. But they are neurospicy, right? And so building a business on top of that is really challenging. Because with business comes a lot of emotions that I have to try and self-regulate for, and then I'm holding space for them. And sometimes it does feel like I, you know, move out of one job, pick them up, move back, tap back into mum mode. And I would not have it any other way, right? Because it's so much better than being in a classroom. Because I can be available for, you know, the spiciness that my children are. But I think I don't see enough maybe people, maybe women speaking about how challenging it is to be a mum and build a business at the same time. That might not be for everyone, but in my experience it was. And I think it's because there's this maybe a self-assumption for me anyway, that I should be grateful that I get to do that and be a mum. I should be grateful that I get to, you know, pick my kids up early because, you know, pick my one of my children up early because he's had a meltdown. And so I shouldn't feel frustrated and resentful that I've just lost a whole, you know, 2 hours. And I feel both in the moment. I'm grateful I can, but I'm also frustrated. And so I think for me, that's where I don't feel as seen. And it is something I'm working on in the background, actually, is speaking more about this kind of bullshit and baby chinos mentality of business and motherhood, which is, again, great for some people. They've had these incredible experiences, but for me, it was really difficult. And I just want women to see maybe themselves in that, if they've had those experiences where they've chosen to build businesses while the baby sleeps, or as I say, when the baby build businesses, you know? So, yeah. So for me, that's an identity piece that's kind of been coming in a little bit this year.
Yeah.
And also one I've shied away from talking about motherhood as well, because I feel like I battled so much with not wanting to just be known as mum.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love being a mum, but I also love being Julia, and I love building businesses as well.
Yeah.
So it's been a bit of a melting pot. As you can probably hear from that answer, I'm still working through a lot of what those feelings are.
Integrating all of that. Yeah. It's a lot. I think it's like really important to show that duality of business. Like sometimes we forget, you know, it's like we watch so much perfect stuff on social media and everything that it's like we almost feel like the goal is perfection, that, you know, you run your great big business with big ambition and it's easy and flowy, and parenting is easy and flowy, and it's like nothing that's easy and flowy all the time is interesting. It's bump up boring, and it doesn't give us the feeling that all of us are chasing. Like ambition is the overcoming of hard things to get somewhere. So it's like you wouldn't feel that way if it didn't have challenges involved. So allowing it to be so much more normal that, you know, yes, stuff is hard, but it's not hard in this way where we just all get out and be like, oh, like, look at me doing the hardest and worst things. And like, it sucks the end. It's like, but I do want you out there being like, look at me, like I'm doing this and it is so fucking hard, you guys. Like, do you see how hard this is? And I'm not in any way going to let that, you know, beat me down about the way I want to parent or slow me down in the way that I want to move for my business. Like I'm like leadership for me in that space, especially around parenting and business and stuff, is like, I just want to see someone make strong choices. It's not about that you have to have the biggest business and parent. It's not about you have to be the most present, slow, calm, sourdough mum in the floral dress. It's that whichever one it is you want, or whichever balance that is for you, wherever that is, when you choose it, stand on it, work for that, I'm impressed. Like, I love to see that. It's when someone's like, I want both, but it's clearly just dysregulating them and overwhelming them and they're kind of doing a shit job of everything. I'm like, I honestly get it together, figure out what you want, where you want to be. Don't keep repeating the same cycle. But it's not that perfection is the leadership for me. It's the owning of all of the hards and all of the challenges and all the balls in the air. And we don't get it perfect every time, but it's like when we see something's not working or when we see something is hard in a way that doesn't feel right anymore, that we're doing something about it. But I think there's so much space for that conversation about the fact that it is crazy challenging and it's wildly inspiring that you do that. Like, that's, I think, what's worth following as well.
Thank you. Yeah. And I do have to say, I think I'm a better business owner because of the parent that I've had to become. Because they have taught
What
me
you've had
to
to
be
hold.
so patient and to, you know, operate on such a little amount of sleep, you know, for the last 6 years.
Yes.
And it's like that has made me become stronger, become a leader, look at holding space for them so I can hold space for myself and also, you know, for my clients as well. So it's not one of those like, oh, woe is me, I just want to like wallow in it situations. It's more of like a recognition of the tenacity that it takes.
Yes.
To carry on and to do it. And as you said, like to not have this like perfect version, like I have almost like non-negotiables for me. You know, I'm like, I will not be the person, like I want to be the person who picks my children up from school every day. That's just like, you know, so I could whinge as much as I want about not having an 8-hour work block.
Yeah.
But I refuse.
You chose that.
Yeah, I chose that. And so I'm like, I recognize that. And I'm frustrated. It's like I'm tired. You know, my daughter's up at 3 a.m. I could sleep when she goes to school. I don't. But I've chosen to work. So I think it's being aware as well of like how much power we have over our choices.
Yeah, so much power.
But also like we kind of, you know, I do pick the things that are hard, essentially, because otherwise it does get boring, doesn't it? Like, I feel like we're always looking for challenges when when you're building something as well. You're like, what's the next hill to climb? You know? I always say that things feel hard until they don't feel hard anymore because we get better at them. But then we just look for new things that are hard.
Yeah.
And so it's like we're constantly, it's like at the gym, to keep going with that, sort of analogy. It's like we build the muscle.
Yeah.
It gets stronger and then we up the weights and we go again.
Well, they say it for humans. It's literally like grow or die. Like we don't feel good and we don't experience the world. You don't experience the range of emotions. You don't experience the happies and the sads and the ups and the downs, all that sort of stuff, unless you're putting yourself in new situations. And obviously, the power of that is making sure it's coming from a place of this is what I truly want for me and my family and my experience, not just because I need like another validation tick or something. But, it's even normalizing that, I feel like there's a lot more funny conversations going on now about like the soft girl era and the soft life and stuff like that. And I think there's so much power in it, and it's not supposed to be all of us. Like you will get bored and
or maybe it's just like seasons of it as well.
Seasons,
like there has been so much pushback of like hustling. But people still want results. So I'm like, you're going to have to double down at some point.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying do it, flat out for years, because I did it for 6 years and then burnt out. And that was not a fun lesson.
Don't do that. Yeah.
But there's seasons of, I need to double down now because I want this to achieve this goal. And I want.
Or I just had a baby. Like that was going to be a quieter season. That was going to, and choice wise, that's what I wanted. Or, I've had my soft girl era because the bitch needed to heal. Like we got to go through these for good reasons, but we're not meant to stay stagnant anywhere. We're meant to tackle.
I'm hard bored even thinking about it.
Hard is even taking the stigma away from hard. Like, yes, things are hard because we choose them, because we want them, because we want to see what we're made of, because we love what comes on the other side. And in the moment, it's still hard.
It can be. It's like two statements can be true. Like, it can be really challenging and you can still want to do it.
Yeah.
Because you want what's on the other side of it.
Yeah. I chose it and it sucked.
I have those conversations with my husband. He's like, but why don't you just stop? And I'm like, I'm not stopping.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's hard.
I want it. I just didn't like it very much.
Just need to complain about it for a minute.
I like the outcome. I just need to do the bit on the way. Yeah. Oh, what an amazing conversation. Thank you, Julia. Thanks for being here and sharing everything with us. And I will drop all of your deets in the show notes for where you can find Julia and her still growing and thriving, and
my autopilot one and my current one.
And her personal brand that is ever growing and got super exciting things to come. So thanks, Jules, and bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.